Thanks for looking at this tutorial on how to use Ancestry Library Edition via the La Crosse County Library website. Before we get started though, please note that Ancestry Library Edition, which I'll be referring to as ALE throughout the rest of the tutorial, it is not the same as Ancestry.com, which you can see here. Not all of the features that are available to paid subscribers are available through ALE. And to be clear, that includes the ability to create a family tree. Nevertheless, there are a number of things that you can do in ALE, and it may be a great way to get started with some genealogical research. And best of all you need in order to access the resources available in ALE is a La Crosse County Library card. So let's get started at lacrossecountylibrary.org, and you can find the link to ALE down here underneath the catalog search box right here. So notice that right now ALE is temporarily available for home access, but ordinarily you do need to come in and use the library's Wi-Fi network or one of our public access computers in order to use it. So when you click on the link, you'll be prompted to enter your library card number and PIN. And as a reminder, the PIN should have been set to the last 4 digits of your phone number at the time you registered for the card. And we'll click Login, and it may take a moment here. Okay. Here we are at the ALE homepage, and there's quite a lot to this resource. So in order to keep the tutorial brief, we're really only going to be able to scratch the surface with a quick tour. So I encourage you, after watching, to go back in and explore around on your own. So a good place to start, since you're not able to build a family tree using ALE, maybe in the Charts and Forms tab on the menu here. And here you can download and print things like a simple direct descent chart, as well as some other forms that may be useful to you if you do choose to embark on a family history project. I would also recommend checking out the Learning Center. Here you can find research aids, which provide information and tips about how to conduct genealogical research. One word of caution, though, some of the tips that are provided really apply more to other ancestry products rather than ALE. But there's a lot of good information in there regardless. Also, if you go into the maps here, so this is only for the US, at least for right now. And you can select any state. We'll demonstrate using Wisconsin. And click on it, and you get as well as the county map, you have all of these links over here. Most of these are actually to external sites. The only one that is contained within Ancestry is this Wisconsin Research Guide here, which opens up in another tab. And it contains a really brief summary of the history of the state with an emphasis on immigration patterns, lists some of the resources available within Ancestry, some of the collections that pertain to the state, and there's also a list of other state resources. So for example, the Wisconsin State Genealogical Society here. All right, so then let's go ahead and close that. And the next item on the menu bar is the message boards. So you can view and search these within ALE, but you are not able to post messages to them. Next, let's go back to the home page. And since you're still watching, I'm sure you're eager to start searching. ALE makes available several points of entry to a search, some of which are actually best accessed from the homepage here. So for example, this green begin searching button right in the middle of the screen, that is actually going to take you to the same place as if you clicked on search here and selected all categories from the dropdown. Similarly, you notice that several of the other items on the dropdown are also duplicated in the quick links section down here. For example, birth, marriage, and death. Look at that, birth, marriage, and death records. Scroll down a little bit, military, right? It's all the same. Also get a census that has its own section a little over here. Notice census records are prevented by law from becoming public for 72 years, so the most recent available one is 1940. And then that last item in the dropdown is called card catalog, but I feel like it really ought to be called collections or something similar, so it would be more obvious that this leads to the same resources as the New Collections tab in the menu bar, or we have recently added updated collections under quick links here. If we click on any of those, we'll see collections of records of one type or another. So over on the left, we can narrow the results by type of the collection or location, etc. So one of my favorite ways to use ALE can be accessed by clicking on the Family Trees filter here, and then selecting Public Member Trees. There is also a shortcut to this in the quick links section on the homepage. So yeah, these are, as the name implies, where somebody who had paid to use Ancestry.com to create a family tree has selected the option of making that tree available for the public to view. Just like any of the other collection or search options, this brings us to a search page. Now, the specific fields vary somewhat depending on which collection or search option you selected. So we will go back and do another different search after this one. Ancestry provides a very flexible search engine that can search for spelling variations, common nicknames, etc., to help increase the likelihood you find the person you're looking for if there's something you're not exactly sure of or that you misspell. But of course, that may also mean that you get some results that are not relevant to your search. So they do give you the option, you can select the box to match all terms exactly. And additionally, as you start to enter information in the fields, an option appears to search for that term exactly without affecting the other terms you enter, as I'll point out momentarily. So I start by entering a name. So we'll do first name. And if you check that exact box that appears as you begin typing, you'll see it gives you a couple of further options. So you can click on About These Settings to get a really good explanation of what exactly these are. Unfortunately, we don't have time to get into that just now. Don't actually want that to be exact. And we'll do last name, Williams. And I just so happen to know that this person was born in 1918. Notice for the date, you get an exact with a plus or minus range of options. And that was in San Diego. And notice that as you type in the location, it gives you a list of suggestions. So you can choose to select one of those if you want. For best results, you want to fill out as much information on this form as you have about the person. And then we're going to click on search, and this may take a moment. So here we are with the results of our search, and there are a lot of things to point out here. The results are kind of split into 3 columns, as you see here. First is about the tree that it's part of. We'll come back to that. And the middle 2 columns are about the person that you've searched for, or what the algorithm thinks may be the person that you've searched for. In this case, I put in Ted as the first name and left it inexact, so the search engine was able to use its flexibility and to think, oh, Ted is a common nickname for Theodore, so that is a pretty likely candidate there. But also, as we scroll down here, we see this name come up as well, because last name Williams, first name starts with T. The other information is similar, so maybe Ted wasn't right. Maybe we were looking for this. In this case, no, we were looking for this Ted Williams up here. And notice that the information that people enter into the tree may vary slightly. For example, we'll look at his mother's name is listed here as Michaela May Venzer Hernandez, May Venzer Williams, Michaela May Venzer. Is it all varying just a little bit, but close enough that you know this is the person that we're looking for. I would also pay attention to the information here. Notice that not all of the trees bother to source their information, but it's always good to look for one that does have sources attached for the information that it's providing. So we'll just click on one at random. Just click on the name of the family tree. And in this case, it's landed me on the facts page about Ted Williams, or this particular entry for Ted Williams. Had we selected one of the other trees, although the information should be pretty similar, yet exactly what's here would have varied slightly. I've also noticed that sometimes it seems like I land on facts, sometimes on life story. I'll go back and explain what life story is in just a moment. But let's look at the facts page here. And again, you notice that there are different columns. So first, there's this very brief timeline, sort of bullet points through his life, born here, was residing here, and so forth. And then there are the sources of the information. So if you click on either get the piece of information or on one of the sources, then you get the lines which indicate which piece of information goes with which source. Also, if an image has been uploaded along with the source, you can look at that by clicking on View and View Image, or if you select View Record, you have the option of emailing yourself the information by clicking on the Send Document button over here. If we go back to our previous view of the facts about Theodore Samuel Williams, so in addition to the facts view, you notice that there's also the option for the gallery view for images related to this person, possibly, or some of the documents that are attached. And there's also the life story view, which basically presents all of the same information as on the facts page, just in a slightly more narrative format. as you can see here. So you can also see how this person fits into the overall family tree by clicking on Tools in the upper right corner here and selecting View in Tree. And then if you want to move this tree around to see other parts of it, you can just click and hold to grab and move that around a little bit. So now, in order to show you a different type of search, let's go back to the home page and then click on that Begin Searching button. So notice at first this page appears to be asking for less information than the other one that we looked at, and it doesn't have that match all terms exactly checkbox. Right, but if you click on Show More Options, then it all appears. So you got match terms exactly. You can add the event information, family members, so forth. Another nice feature on this search is that if you are, like many people, slightly math phobic, if you click on this little calculator icon next to the birth year field, an aid pops up that prompts you for the person's age in any given year. In this case, I'm just going to enter the same information that I put in for the previous search. And click Search. And again, this may take a moment. In the upper left corner, you can see the filters that are currently applied for this search. You can use the sliders to change the exactness you would like applied to any of the search terms. So, for example, you can slide this along and notice if at the end here, we're looking precisely for Ted, and then you would update the search. And then, of course, you can always go in and edit the search or start a new search from here as well. So underneath that box, there are, of course, the additional filters that you can apply. This is like we saw previously, type of collection, location, time period, so forth. So the main part of the screen is displaying our actual results, or at least those that the Ancestry search engine thinks are close enough. So notice some of the entries have a little thumbnail picture. Some of them it just says the linked text view image. Some do not have an image at all. For those that do, whether it says view image or it has the little thumbnail, you can click on that and that will take you to a larger view of the photo or document. Or if you click on the title of the collection from which the record comes, this allows you to see in detail the information that is contained in that record. And again, you have the option to email this to yourself using the Send Document button. And unfortunately, that's about all we really have time for. Again, there's a lot more to this resource. So I hope that this tutorial helps you to feel more comfortable with getting started exploring on your own. Thanks for watching.